Diddy ring. Nerd bro.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
You really adopted the dark. I was born in it.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Bazinga.
Two in the box.
Ready to go.
We be fast.
They be slow.
Cool.
Hello and welcome to Mount Geekmore, your favorite podcast where a bunch of nerds sit around and talk, argue, and discuss the top four, a Mount Rushmore, if you will, of any given topic. And this week we are going to be doing the Mount Geekmore of super pets. And if y'all's list were anything like mine, there was some debate. There were some arguments to be made. I'm joined by some of my friends tonight from the Missing Sock Network. We've got Stein from the Flores Dungeon.
What up?
From right here at our own Geek Bro Network, we've got my Geekmore co-host and my Shiver co-host, David Ulloa.
Howdy.
And also from the Missing Sock Network, we've got our Alex Murray.
What's up?
And
so many socks. A pair.
You've seen me here before. You can also catch me over on Shiver. And like I said, we're going to be doing the Mount Geekmore of super pets. So the first thing I got to do is I got to go around and I got to ask, how did you decide on what your list was going to be? We're just going to take it around the horn and start with you, Stein.
Yeah, so do the pets need to be superpowered themselves? Are they pets of people with superpowers? What medium do they come from? Do they come from video games, movies, TV, literature? Is there a genre specific? So I decided I would just sort of choose one from sort of each little, like there's no crossover. You're not going to get a super pet from the same universe or like medium or anything like that. Yeah, I think there might be like a little bit of crossover, but for the most part, I tried to separate it as much as possible. And again, I always loved the visual of what all four of my choices would look like if they were actually carved into stone on the top of that Mount Geekmore.
Of course. Dave, what'd you do, man?
I thought about pets.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
simple.
Yeah.
Keep streamlining. Let's streamlining.
Yeah. I thought about pets, and if there was the word "super" attached to them in some way or another, they were good to go.
I like it, Murray.
Yeah. So the big thing for me was pet. Because like it's got to be an animal that isn't providing for itself. Right. And after that, its owner just has to have some sort of extra human powers. And I managed to not pick any dogs or cats. And I didn't do that on purpose. I had but as I started narrowing it down, I was like, okay. And so then I decided I would just do no doubling specieses or animal kinds even. No. What's like one up from species? Order? Yeah.
Genus?
Yeah.
Genus.
Try to separate genuses.
Geni.
Well, I in my head created this idea that it was just like comic book pets. And so
pretty that way. I Googled that and I was like, oh, a bunch of dogs with capes. Cool.
Yeah, and so well,
that's how this started out in your defense.
And so 30 minutes ago, my list was just sent into a complete and total tailspin when I realized that two of mine did not have any sort of powers. So they were just awesome comic book pets, but were not at all related to someone superpowered. So I tweaked one. I managed to make one in there. If somebody's going to throw a flag on it, I'll be ready with the backup. But other than that, the big thing for me was they had to be pets, not just a superpowered animal. Like Murray said, they had to be reliant on someone else. They had to always kind of be attached to someone else. It wasn't just an animal that had superpowers. Like they had to be directly related to somebody. So that's how I thought about it. So I guess
I also, and one more caveat, I also made the distinction that this pet could not be elevated to the status of sidekick. Like it had to be beneath the owner in some way, so it could not be equal. So like honestly, that's the only reason why Scooby-Doo's not on my list.
Yeah, I went back and forth a lot with Scooby-Doo for a hot minute because he's the best. I mean, like
he's
really,
obviously
honestly
superpowered. He fucking talks. He solves crimes.
Yeah,
I mean, he hits
that's
every
fair.
fucking
He
box.
can talk. Yeah, but his owners
jaw
aren't.
opens
His
like
owners
this
aren't
big.
super. They're just dumb kids. So like, yeah, they're just meddling kids. Excuse me.
I love it. All right, well here we go. It's time to get on with the show. We'll start with number 4s.
With the fourth pick.
Number 4. Round 4.
I'm in no mood for your wives' crap. Let's get it on.
All right, we're gonna take it around the horn. So we're gonna start with Stein. Hit me with your number 4, man.
Number 4 on the list is usually for me my comedy pick, and I'm going to start off strong. You know her, you love her, voiced by the wonderful Sandra Oh on the television show Invincible. It's Debbie Grayson. Now you might say that she's not a pet, but in Invincible, Omni-Man does say to his son, "I love your mother," but I think of her more as a pet.
Oh
man, I gotta throw a flag on the. I gotta throw a flag on the play
flag
there.
if I didn't understand any of the words that you
Omni-Man thinks of Debbie Grayson as a pet. That
but
makes
she's,
her a pet.
She's not.
I don't care.
I
It's
think
out of his mouth. He said it. It's canon.
It's an insult, man. It's an insult. It's not.
That's not how identity works, man. Identity's not what other people put on you. That's if it is, then we've just eliminated the trans community. Can all shut up.
What the fuck are you talking about? This is Omni-Man saying that his wife is a pet.
I don't know who Omni-Man is. I don't know who any of the things you're
J.K.
saying are.
Simmons. He's too powerful.
She's a totally self-aware person, man.
Okay. Then I'll change my answer.
And she
right off the bat,
controversy.
controversy.
Yeah, we're throwing the flag.
You know what?
Flag
Challenge. I'm kidding.
On the
Okay,
Debbie
fine.
Pick.
Right off the bat, Debbie Grayson. She can't be a pet, even though Omni-Man says that he thinks of her as a pet.
Is that Robin's mom? Like, I don't. Who the fuck are these?
It's from Invincible. Get with the times, bro. Watch it on Amazon.
I like that you went for that, though. That's a great reference.
Reach for the stars, man.
Okay. Then how about Garfield?
Oh, totally. Nah, he's super powered. I'm with you there. There's no way he could eat that much lasagna and continue to live.
You've walked right into my fucking house here, buddy.
I know I did. That's why I
activated my trap card.
According to my podcast's lore, there's all sorts of supernatural shit going on in Jar Arbuckle's house.
Okay.
But I get he's definitely a pet and he's super powered. Yeah, I'll allow it for sure.
All right.
Garfield's got first of all, he can kick anybody he wants. He's got like solidly cartoon physics bending superpowers for sure.
Run with it, Stein. Your number 4 is Garfield.
Yep, and that was just like a shout out for you, Mr. Murray. I was like looking to you for like the validation. So
he can unhinge his jaw.
Yeah.
He can move forward and backward in time. He's also a self-aware, eternal comic.
Yeah,
he talks to us directly, so
he can
he's
address
got some sort of like
to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, absolutely. Somehow he knows how to keep normal alive. He can resist the cuteness.
Somehow convinces the greater species in the house, Odie, that he is lesser than he is.
You know what? You guys have convinced me. Garfield flies. Garfield for your number 4. All right, Dave, what's your number 4?
This is going to end up being Garfield, Scooby-Doo, and Snoopy, and we're going to be like, the hell with it.
Snoopy flies fucking planes, man.
Yeah.
My number 4 is not
to.
Snoopy, though. It is Crypto, the super dog.
There he is.
Sure.
And so Crypto, no one else had Crypto, right?
Nope.
Okay, so Crypto was the first one that popped into my brain. I think that no pet better encapsulates the idea of a super pet. And I'm not sure if he's the first. He goes back to the 50s. I think he precedes Ace the Bat Hound. by just a couple of months, but it's this like just it's so wholesome to see how he and Clark as a boy bond, and that idea of like a boy and his dog is taken to the nth degree, because like he's finally discovered someone who's from his home. Like there's a link to Krypton, right? And his father sent the dog for him. Like how much more wholesome is that your father got you this dog, and you're now like in communion with your father, with your culture, all through a dog, you know, and the dog has the same powers that he does, and the dog is just as kind-hearted as he is. And you see this through the comics, the cheesiest fuck comics in the 50s and 60s. You see it in the Super Friends TV shows, and it's one of those things that it makes me feel good inside. Ultimately, he's not as cool and as important to me personally as my 1, 2, or 3 are, but he's definitely the first one that jumped into my mind.
I mean, he's even getting his own movie now, right? Like, aren't they making? There's like I think Warner Brothers is releasing an animated like Super Pets movie.
That would be awesome.
It's coming out, and I think it's going to be him and Ace, and I don't know, maybe some others.
They absolutely are. I only know that because I Googled Super Pets, and Crypto, solid choice, man. He's a super dog, literally.
I don't know. I like Nexium a whole lot, and I'm trying to look at Dogecoin, but yeah.
Nexium's a pharmaceutical drug, dude.
Yeah, I was like,
wait, what's the
Ethereum?
N one? Ethereum, that one. Nah, there's an N one too.
NFTs?
No, I think Nexium's another one. Nexium or Nexus.
Isn't
or some
Nexium
shit.
like the cult that the chick from?
Nexium's the
sex
cult.
cult.
Listen, Nexium is a word that you choose anytime you're like want to just be like weirdly futuristic and get people to buy in. Nexium works. I think it's also heartburn medication.
Yeah,
like,
there it is.
Nexium,
It's heartburn medication.
Nexium is anything. I don't know.
All right, so we've got Crypto for Dave's number 4. Murray, what do you got, man?
Yeah, I started off again, no dogs, no cats, and that was not a conscious choice. It just happened that way. The first super pet that I thought of, you were like, super pets came on the text, and I was like, Blip the monkey. Does anybody else remember Blip?
Yeah,
hell yeah. So
Nice.
Blip the monkey's my number 4. It was just the first thing that popped into my head. I love a monkey sidekick. It's one of my personal like bucket lists. Like if you it's like number 3 on acting things I'd like to do before I die. Work with a monkey. I don't care. I want to check in with Dunstan. I want to play baseball with Ed. I want to work with a monkey. And I respect Space Coast a lot for being like
Friends.
Yes, Marcel.
Yes. Thank you. I was going to say Maurice. Yeah.
Maurice.
Yeah. Baguettes. Hurry up.
Crazy old Marcel. Yeah, man. But I also love that Blip is super helpful with no powers. He's just a fucking monkey that they put a spacesuit on, which like is beautiful because that's how we're like, we're just gonna I built a rocket ship. Let's fire this poor monkey out into space and see if he survives.
It's led to other superpowered animals as well.
Absolutely. Listen, man, the first dog we launched up into space didn't make it, so R.I.P.
Or did he? And he's a superpowered animal.
Oh shit, he's on the moon. Nah.
No, he's on Pluto.
His corpse is orbiting the shit out of the Earth still. Sorry.
All right, so we've got
Blip the monkey
from Space Ghost. All right, my number 4.
I
love that.
I will wholeheartedly admit if you guys shoot this one down, I am willing to replace it. It is one that I picked when I originally just thought it was comic book animals. But he does have a superpower. My number 4 is Ampersand, the capuchin monkey from Y the Last Man.
I like that. I was thinking about that one too.
And while Ampersand, for the most part, is a regular capuchin, he was genetically modified. And when the wave happened that destroyed everything with the Y chromosome, his genetic modifications are what allowed him to remain alive. The only reason that Yorick survived is because
fucking that monkey.
thrown his shit at him, and what the genetic modifications inside of Ampersand kept Yorick alive as well. So his superpower is none of it could have happened without him, and he was able to survive that. So that is why I'm willing to throw Ampersand out here. Ampersand is an amazing character. Why the Last Man is my favorite non-soups, non-capes, like comic book of all time. I think that Why the Last Man is high art when it is at its best. And Ampersand is someone who exists to make Yorick a better person. He embodies that idea of you not only being reliant on your pet, or your pet not only being reliant on you, but you being reliant on your pet. Like emotionally and actually physically, Ampersand saved his life multiple times. And spoiler alert, I know it's a TV show now, but the comic book is old. When Ampersand dies towards the end of Why the Last Man, like I was a fucking wreck. Like I was so emotionally. No. Yes, I'm sorry.
They fridge the monkey.
Well, he died. He dies a heroic. You've taken me this far, buddy. Death.
Oh man, I love that little pooch.
Yeah, but like all good super pets.
Yes,
they're just around.
Rip your heart out.
It's just he was absolutely incredible without ever saying a word. I mean, it meant a lot. He meant a lot to me as a character. He was one I was about ready to scrap, like I said, when I realized it was superpowered, but figured I could weasel him in there. I'm glad that you guys agree. Yeah. So my number 4 is Ampersand. Did you guys read why?
Yeah. I got like 6 books into the graphic series novels, and then like the graphic novel series. And they canceled the show though after the first season.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I actually never got around to watching it.
Somebody was like, "We want to kill this monkey," and they were like, "Fuck you, shut it down."
We already killed all the men. What do you want?
All right. So our number 4s were Garfield, Crypto, Blip, and Ampersand. That's going to take us into our number 3s.
Round 3.
3 is a magic number. Yes, it is.
All right. Stein, what's your number 3?
Number 3. All right.
For anybody listening to the audio version, that was a great visual gag. You should check us out. We're on Facebook and YouTube on the Geek Bro pages.
I do have. So I was dating this girl, and she's like, "I know what that thing is that's on your wall. It's called the infinity hand, right?" And I was like, "You're so cute."
Go home.
Anyways, go home.
You waited to correct her until after.
I did not correct her. I just she still believes to
this.
this day it's called the infinity hand.
Coward.
I liked it. I like her being wrong. It was funny. Okay, so for those of you that know me, I'm a DM, host of the Floor's Dungeon podcast. So I decided to delve deep into the world of Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
She is the Astral Panther, companion of Driz Duerden.
Yes.
Guinevere.
You fucking
excellent
nerd.
choice. Yes, such
Awesome.
a good choice.
Yeah,
though.
dude. Yeah, dude. And we might say, well, does that count as a super pet? Excuse me? She can't die. Anytime she gets reduced to 0 hit points, she just goes back to the astral plane to heal up. She can also drag other things into the astral plane to protect them, like she did with the little halfling boy. Can't remember his name right now. But also what's really cool is that she was rescued by Drizzt. She was actually held by like an evil drow, which is a dark elf wizard. And they used to go out ranging and hunting in the Underdark together, and they created like a friendship, but she has to always obey her master. And the master said to Guinevere, attack and kill Driz Duerden. And she started to do it, but then she broke free of her magical shackles, turned on the wizard, killed the wizard, and now her and Driz have been together for a really long time. 1,000,000 years. That's canon. That's lore. Don't question me.
R.A. Salvatore, I think, did so much for D&D in what the what was the
Forgotten
Icewind,
Realms?
the Forgotten Realms, the Icewind Dale trilogy. I mean, he's written more than that, but I think that's what kind of established it, right?
Yeah.
And I remember reading was it the Crystal Shard was the first one in that series, and just being so and like it's very easy to be just a derivative of the Lord of the Rings when you're writing fantasy, and he very clearly took it in a different direction, and a lot of that has to do with that relationship that Drizzt and Guinevere have.
Yeah. And you wouldn't think that it was spelled the way that it's spelled because it's a fantasy thing and you got to spell everything weird and wild.
It's like Guinevere.
It's like Guinevere. But yeah, then he did like the prequels down in the Underdark with the whole backstory of how they like met each other, and like with Drizzt leaving his house and climbing all the way up to the surface. It really is. Yeah, it's not derivative of Lord of the Rings at all. And you're absolutely right. Yeah. Like Wheel of Time, the Sword of Shannara, like all of those things are just like clones of the Lord of the Rings. Not this shit.
The Lord of the Rings is a fucking ripoff of a whole bunch of other shit. Tolkien didn't make any of that up.
Yeah,
it's all just the Nibelungen lead, you guys. Come on. Read a book.
All right. Dave, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is definitely the coolest looking one on this list, and is probably the one that I've read the most in comics, and it's Lockheed from X-Men.
Table.
There we go.
Boom. All right, number 3, Murray.
All right, well, you know what? I went to D&D as well, but I didn't go quite as deep. And I didn't go to official Wizards D&D. I went right to my favorite podcast, The Adventure Zone, and I'm bringing Steven the Goldfish.
Hey!
Magnus's magical goldfish. I don't know if everybody here is familiar with Steven.
No idea what you're talking about.
Steven's a goldfish. One of the 3 main characters of The Adventure Zone, the first arc of The Adventure Zone, Magnus Burnside's in like episode 4. He wants an animal companion and he's bitching about it. And his little brother, the DM, is like, sells him a mystery bag in like when they're just shopping for gear, and he gets it. He's like, it's a goldfish in a tiny like ball, and he's like, what does it do? He's like, it doesn't do anything. It's a goldfish, and it's yours now. and he's got his own subreddit, man. Like people just like really latched onto this fish, and like because it's a podcast and it's an improvisational medium, like the weird magic that got built into a middle brother bitching at a younger brother for more details about his magical pretend pet. And Griffin's like, because people were like, well, okay, if this fish is in a ball, how does it eat and how does it poop? And Griffin was just like, he's magic. It's a magical goldfish and he's in magical water and he poops. And here's what happens. He's like, here's what happens. The water is astral plane water. And whenever he poops, it bamps his poop into the astral plane, and then it sucks it back in as oxygen. That's how he's alive. And I love how stuff like that happens and becomes canon. And then like there, every time like Travis would just continue to mention that Steven was okay and that Steven was there, and he'd have chats with Steven. He's just his little pet, and he just like hangs out on his belt and has adventures, and he's this magical goldfish. And I really like that for like pet for me. Like this is very much the pet of a superhero. It doesn't help him fight crime. It doesn't help him do anything. it just lowers his blood pressure. Yeah.
It helps with his mental health, which he needs to be able to be a better hero.
Yeah, dude, to save the entire universe. Yeah,
emotional
absolutely.
support super pet.
From the hunger.
I like it. All right, Steven the Goldfish. What you got, Dave? Number 3. Oh, wait, no, we already did Dave's. I'm sorry. You got tabled. My number 3 is Bubastis 2 from the second Watchmen run, who is more definable as having superpowers as Bubastis 2. So first off, if you're not familiar with Bubastis is the giant tiger-looking thing that is Ozymandias's.
Yeah.
He's actually a genetically modified lynx, and while the original Bubastis was genetically modified to have he was more intelligent, he was stronger, and things like that. Bubastis 2 was he actually has like a weird internal compass that allows him to find Dr. Manhattan at all times. So while not only being like the coolest looking this pet that I have on my list, he's got this amazing ability to constantly find his master's arch nemesis. And so you know
Garfield can do that too, to be fair.
So can the original Drax the Destroyer.
Yes. And so I mean, but as a supervillain, if you're gonna have a pet, not only having one that's gonna defend you till the death, even if you kill it yourself, like the original Bubastis, having one that has like a radar for the person that you're always hunting / is always hunting you, that's an untouchable combo, man. That is something that's just absolutely incredible to have. He's super dope looking. Like I said, if you've ever seen a lynx, they're not huge, so he looks like a lynx, but he's the size of like a Bengal tiger.
They're not small, bro.
Well, I know, but they're small.
Yeah.
They're
They're
small
not
compared to
fucking
like
tigers, but yeah.
Well, Bubastis is a lynx, a lynx like the size of a tiger.
Yeah, he's rad looking. He's
Yeah.
got them big old long ear tufts.
Yes.
too.
So very cool looking. I mean, cool power set. In the original Watchmen, the original Bubastis, would go to war for Ozymandias, and Bubastis 2 is that on
ride
roids.
that sumbitch?
I don't think he ever rides
I'm thinking
it.
also like if I'd like to honorable mention Battle Cat right now. Like somebody's gonna bring up Battle Cat. Like I didn't think about it till right now, and I'm kind of mad because I don't have a cat.
Yeah, but yeah, so Bubastis 2 was he's cool looking. I mean, he, like I said, he's faithful till the end. I mean, he just embodies what it is to be a great pet. So that is my number 3.
Didn't he block Dr. Manhattan's a bit like tachyon abilities to sort of like see what was happening around him too?
Yes, like he also he shields Ozymandias from being seen by Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, so he's like Magneto's like helmet.
His helmet.
Yes.
Did Ozymandias do that to Bubastis? Did
yes.
he
Yes, he
all right,
made
well,
him
then why
that way.
wouldn't you just genetically modify like a swarm of gnats to do that?
You're right. It's way
You
cooler to
fucking
have a
idiot.
swarm of gnats than a fucking
Yeah, dude.
Genetically
Genetically modified fruit flies with big long ear tufts.
Because
that's so cute.
Because you'd have to redo it every 24 hours.
I guess
Fruit
that's
flies
true.
don't
So
last long.
it would get really, really annoying.
That would be it would
haven't had
literally
any-
be the only thing you could do with your life.
We haven't had any crime from Ozymandias in a while. Yeah, dude, he's in his fruit fry lab. Idiot.
But they're the size of horse flies.
So he's never seen a lynx. I don't know his problem.
All right, so our number 3s are Guinevere from Dungeons and Dragons, Lockheed from X-Men, Stephen the Goldfish from, what did you say it was called?
The Adventure Zone.
The Adventure Zone, and Bubastis 2 from the second run of Watchmen. We're going to get into our number 2s.
Round 2.
Dose, the sequel to Uno.
All right, hit me with the Deuce Stein.
Hitting you with the Deuce, number 2, from one of my favorite video game franchises ever. The faithful dog companion of Mega Man. It's Rush.
Nice choice.
Dude, so, okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so I had originally 1 cat, then 2 because Garfield, because apparently Debbie Grayson doesn't make the list. Rush is my dog choice. I guess, the other one might be a dog, debatable, but definitely a robot dog. And if you ever played the Mega Man franchise games, comes in super handy. Some levels, you need him to get to the super power-ups. Others, you get to ride him around and like shoot things out of his mouth. He's basically your utility box, but also a very good boy. He's so cute. He's got that like cartoon face, but like, oh my god! And he shoots laser beams out of his mouth.
Yeah, turns into a jet. Really?
Yeah, he has a springboard on his back. I think
the springboard.
Yeah, like you just
So
jump on his back and
helpful.
fling
Thanks,
it.
Dr. Wiley.
Dr. Light. Thank you.
All right, so we've got Rush from Mega Man. Dave, what's your number 2?
My number 2, I do have a backup in case this one gets flagged as well. The 80s saw an awful lot of cartoon shows, animated shows that had definite elements of like the superhero comics that were becoming popular again. And I think that this is most definitely the pet of a superhero. Snarf, Lion-O's Snarf from Thundercats.
Snarf is a pet. Snarf is a pet.
Snarf is most definitely a pet.
Was Murray about to disagree and then he froze?
Well, if he's not here to disagree.
I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence here. Snarf is sentient. Snarf walks on two legs. He can kind of like handle his own shit. I know that in later iterations.
He is dependent upon Lion-O.
Okay.
In many things, especially for protection.
So is Debbie Grayson.
Nah, that's a stretch. That's a stretch there.
I guess you're probably right.
Snarf is an interesting choice. I mean, is Snarf a Thundercat or is Snarf the pet of a Thundercat?
I've always considered him the pet of a Thundercat.
Yeah, me too, honestly.
But he also has kind of like that motherly love and like I'm gonna take care of you, which is interesting. To me, it's part of the great appeal of Snarf as a pet, because Snarf clearly is not taking care of Lion-O, but he believes that he's taking care of Lion-O.
Okay.
You know, he's got that very, you know, parent-like quality. He feels like he owes Lion-O something. And in fact, he doesn't, you know, but Lion-O is grateful for him. In fact, they all are. They're all grateful to have him. You know, he's kind of like the stay-at-home mom for them in a way. And, you know, he definitely earns his keep. But I think even more than just comic relief, because I think that Wile E. Kit and Wile E. Cat do that quite well on the show. Snarf does bring like an emotional tie to Thundera that might otherwise not always be present, right? Because once Jaga kind of stops appearing all the time, Jaga's there a lot at the beginning, you know, very Obi-Wan Kenobi. But once Jaga like kind of lets Lion-O do his thing and discover who he is, that tie to Thundera, that's Snarf. I think that he does a lot for Lion-O in keeping him grounded and reminding him about why it is that protecting Third Earth is important.
You pled your case, and I'll allow it. It sounds good to me, man. You have convinced. So you've got Snarf.
I would like to just say, point of order, his name is Ogbert. He is a Snarf.
Is his name Ogbert?
His name's Ogbert. Yeah, and he is a Snarf. And he was Lion-O's, like, he works the same as Crypto. Lion-O's dad gave him to him when he was little to take care of him. Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go. That is. I did not know Snarf had another name.
There you go.
Or a name, rather. And he is a
You think that
I feel so much better about Battlecat and Elfo not being here now, too. I'm glad that you brought in a classic 80s.
So here's the thing. If Snarf was going to get vetoed, I was going to put in Battlecat.
Sweet.
Because I do think that Snarf is the better choice, at least for me personally, but there is no arguing Battlecat. Like,
Cringer's pretty great.
Yeah, like if you try to argue against Battlecat, like you've got issues.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Give me that deuce, Murray.
All right. Here we go. Iago the parrot.
Oh, fucking awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I wish I had thought of it.
He was one that pops up really. I went to Disney and I started cycling through, and I didn't want to do a sidekick. And I also needed, again, in my head, like, it can't be like Pocahontas ain't a superhero. So it can't be her cute little, like, you know, hummingbird, as wonderful as they are. So I was like, all right, but I think Jafar with his wizard powers is going to do it for like superhuman, you know, we're in folklore and fairy tales.
Especially once he gets his genie powers. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
he has at some point a genie. I also love that
Plus,
you were
Iago
talking about
talks in schemes. I mean, that's pretty much a superpower.
he
pet
talks in
as
schemes,
is.
and also like I'm gonna argue he's been voiced twice on screen by Gilbert Gottfried and Alan Tudyk. So like, man, that's
a pedigree
beats
there.
even that's a pedigree that even old Scoobs has a hard time boasting. He's friends with Casey Kasem, and that's great. But like, freaking Gottfried, man, and like I also love that
I didn't think of this one.
it really makes me happy. He's because he's definitely a pet, and he also like. Has anybody else seen Return of Jafar? The second Aladdin movie?
Excellent.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not a good movie.
Okay, okay, listen.
But it does hinge on Iago. I mean, Iago's basically the main character of it. The whole thing is Iago realizing that Jafar's a bad guy and deciding to like have the emotional arc of being a good guy. And then he hangs out with Aladdin and Jasmine during the whole TV series and helps them find Aladdin's dad or whatever they do in the third one.
That was and King of Thieves, Prince of Thieves, or whatever. King of Thieves.
I will die on the hill.
I like that
Return of Jafar, but I need to go watch it again because I haven't seen it in about 30
Fair.
years. So
it
so
suffers greatly from lack of Robin Williams.
Yeah, it's a guy trying to be Robin Williams a lot.
And there's like the genie's like corny and sad, and he sings a song about he like comes back from vacation. He's like, I missed you, and it's rough. But yeah, man, Iago's also just like he's like, and also we've hit on these like the sarcastic speaking one. I think even for me, better than Cringer, better than Snarf of like wisecracking, joke cracking, like pet. He's Garfield level glib.
Well, and so, I like to imagine that there was a decent amount of Iago that the script just said like Gilbert go
Gottfried.
Yeah. And then it was like, don't worry, we'll animate him to say whatever it is. Just rant for a little while.
The aristocrats. No, pull it back, Gilbert.
Whoa. All right. So
Roger walks into a casting agent's office.
All right. So we've got Iago from Aladdin.
Solid.
My number 2 is one who just barely has superpowers. Again, it's kind of my thing. But the superpower that he has she has possibly, is super awesome. My number 2 is Old Lace from Runaways. Looks like a velociraptor. I looked it up. Old Lace is actually a Deinonychus.
It's pronounced Deinonychus. I know this because I turned into one as a druid in my D&D campaign.
You know, because you're a freaking dorknonicus.
Deinonychus.
Yeah,
I know. Okay. A velociraptor is like an actual velociraptor is about the size of like a large chicken.
Got it. Okay. Well, yes. Yeah. Well, Old Lace is much larger than that, and Old Lace has a psychic link with Gertrude from the Runaways. Was actually like crafted and kept alive to specifically be Gertrude's companion. And their psychic link goes a lot further than them just being able to like think back and forth at each other. They feel each other's emotions to an extent. They feel each other's pain. And they become very codependent on each other in a way that is, you know, it's especially if you've never read Runaways. I mean, that's quite literally what it's about. It's a group of children who find out their parents are supervillains and they go on the run while attempting to stop their parents from summoning Marvel's version of Cthulhu. And so but they didn't really, they kind of knew each other before, but they weren't all that tight. So having someone like Old Lace is vital for the character of Gertrude, who continually shows to be one of, if not the best characters in Runaways. It's a spectacular book. If all you know of Runaways is the Hulu show that I don't think was as miserable as a lot of people think it wasn't awful. It just wasn't the book. So even if you don't like the Runaways show and you like comic books, I highly, Brian K. Vaughan, this is my second one. Created by Brian K. Vaughan. He also created Ampersand and Why the Last Man, and one of my honorable mentions. Like, the guy knows how to write a pet, and it shows. He's obviously someone who's had deep emotional attachments to animals in his life, and it comes through in his writing. So my number 2 is Old Lace from the Runaways.
Nice.
So for number 2s, we have got Rush from Mega Man. The Snarf named, what was his name?
Ogbert.
The Snarf named Osbert.
Osbert. My bad.
Osbert.
With S. Osbert.
Osbert from Thundercats. Iago from Aladdin. And Old Lace from Runaways. All right, so now we get to that part of the show where we've got all those ones that we thought about picking. They made the short list, but they missed it by that much. Neary's got the soundboard with all those fancy things. I can't actually play the Get Smart sound. So this also tends to be where we just round things out with the other ones that we thought about. Give me some mentions, Stein.
All right, so I don't know. This one was like one that I wanted to put up there. It's the Silver Surfer, but he's the Herald of Galactus. But I kind of thought that he was like he's Galactus's pet. He sends him off.
more of Galactus's slave than
yeah. He's
a pet's kind of a slave if you think about it.
But
I've watched your pet
argument for
I've watched your pet being charged
the invincible pick.
I'd have been more likely.
It's funnier.
Yes, I'd have been more likely to Silver Surfer slide as a number 4.
I've got Eagly from Peacemaker, the new show there. I never read the comic book, but he does have a pet eagle, which is quite good. I'm just gonna go off like the Cape of Levitation from Doctor Strange.
I thought about doing the flying carpet from Aladdin first, and then that triggered Iago for like in the same way.
So I'm saying some of my like Marvel ones because my number 1 is a Marvel one. And I guess like my last one that I just thought of probably should make the list, but it can't be my number 1 is Appa from The Last Airbender.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, such a great pick.
Duh.
Yeah.
All right. Honorable mentions, Dave.
My honorable mentions are, I mentioned Battle Cat, that he was going to be like the one, my audible in case Snarf was shot down. So I guess Battle Cat, Ace the Bat Hound is another one. He's fantastic. And, kind of very similar to what we were talking about with the goldfish. He's kind of just there for Batman, Lockjaw on the Marvel end is such a great fucking character, man. I mean, and he's almost a hero unto himself. Sure. In fact, he is. He starts his own
got the Pet Avengers.
Pet Avengers. But definitely a pet. And Cosmo. I mean, Cosmo's a great fucking pet, man. And he ends up going on adventures with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I mean,
he's when you said that dog that got shot into space that was dead, that's why I say maybe he's become a superhero. Because
exactly
got shot into space, became a superhero. All right, Murray, honorable mentions.
Hedwig, Harry Potter's owl.
Okay.
And that didn't make it in because better bird. Ein from Cowboy Bebop. I had Jocelyn for a minute.
Fuck! I didn't even consider Ein.
I know, right? But I was like, I don't know. I don't know if we can realistically call the crew of the Bebop superheroes. I mean, they're definitely not heroes. They're certainly anti-heroes. It's a noir.
He is super anti-hero.
And yeah, I guess, but they don't have superpowers. Like he's just a kung fu dude, and Faye's got titties, and Jet's got I guess he's kind of a cyborg.
Oh boy, does Faye got titties?
Yeah, she does.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so Ein was the other one, and then my other one was that almost I was batting around was Oi from the Dark Tower books.
The
butler from the Dark Tower books, and like he's more of a sidekick, I think, and I mean, very obscure. So I was like, keep him in my pocket.
My honorable mentions are a lot of those ones that I think over the course of their runs elevated to the level of sidekick. Lion Cat from Saga. Lion Cat very much functions as a side cat to the Will, more so than a pet. Dynamite, Blue Falcon. Yeah, I mean he's a sidekick.
Wait, Dynamite from what?
He's Blue Falcons.
Blue Falcon. My bad. I was thinking of doesn't Captain Caveman have a little dog? And I think it's named something like Dynamite or Dynamite or something.
Dynamite is like the green. He's like the Hanna-Barbera Rush.
Yeah,
he's like
I've got
a green
you
robot.
Cool. Yeah.
I've got Oh god, here we go. Oh, I lost track of them. Then I've got some that are just pets that just didn't make it, like Shiva from The Walking Dead, Zabu from Khazar. And then the one that was the biggest blow to my list when I realized that he was in no way super powered. Maybe there's an argument for it there, but I didn't feel like putting the effort into it. When I thought it was just comics, my number one was going to be Hobbs from Calvin and Hobbs.
I got him on my
was
honorable
real close
mention
with
there,
Hobbs
yeah.
too.
But there's, and I wanted to like make the argument of like the superpower of imagination.
Yeah.
But it just like I said, I was like
Superpower of undiagnosed attention deficit hyper disorder.
Yes,
I would have let it slide.
If it had just been comics, Hobbs was going to be my number one.
But he's a stuffed animal, and a stuffed animal isn't a pet.
Or
Also,
does he only come to life when no one's looking, like Andy's toys?
Yeah.
But then he's a toy.
Yeah, then he's a toy. Yeah, he's a toy, or a sidekick, or a magical item if we're going to get Wizards of the Coast involved again.
But like I said, that's why he's an honorable mention. And so
can we give a Razzie really quick? Can we just give a Razzie to Scrappy Doo? Can we just
oh yeah, fuck that guy.
And I guess technically, if we as we established earlier, if Scooby Doo does have superpowers, is Scrappy his pet? Scrappy can be his pet. He's the pet of a superhero.
Does that mean that what's her name Merple gets like one from Garfield also?
Nermal?
Merple.
Sure.
Merple. The old Merple Nermal. All right. Well, then, I believe, gentlemen, it's time to get to number ones.
Round 1.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
Do it! Do it! Come on! Come on!
The top of the mountain, the big hitters, as good as it gets. Stein, what's your number one?
One. Oh, fuck. Number one, which is appropriate that I've got this very good prop here, the Infinity Hand, because my number one pick from the King Thanos CR666 universe of Marvel, the Hulk.
Oh shit!
I
alternate
with you, but in this universe, this is a legitimate pick.
In this universe, King Thanos successfully kills almost everyone in the universe. There's like 3 people that are still left alive, or 3 like entities. I don't know if we can necessarily call them people. One of them is the Hulk that he turns into his pet dog. He keeps on a red chain, also down in the dungeon of his big empty castle, where he feeds anyone that's left to the Hulk.
That's mean.
That's
Thanos
good,
is
man.
Such a fucking power play. And he's like milky-eyed. He's got this like raggedy white beard, and he's completely subservient to Thanos. It's the biggest fucking flex.
I now want to rescue your cat from you. If this is your favorite pet.
It's not that it's my favorite. It's just that it's the biggest. It's the number one. Like if you
just the hugest flex.
Yeah, you can turn the Hulk into your pet. I don't care what your pit bull. I don't give a fuck about anybody else's pet. You made the Hulk your bitch.
It's like I want to argue, but for this universe, it's a valid pick because he is absolutely a pet. I didn't think about it until you started talking, but God,
and the writer does say that so Thanos is like eating, and he's like, we're gonna give the scraps to the dog, and so they actually walk down into the cellar with the scraps and throw it into a big pit where the Hulk is just there like gnawing on bones. So he is the dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
it's really sad.
I just don't like elevating this kind of pet owner. I think
I know.
I like when you're making Jafar look like a responsible pet owner.
All right, so we've got Hulk from the King Thanos universe. Dave,
my number one is I think, with the exception of possibly Lockheed, is unrivaled in how absolutely pivotal to the stories that are that involve her are, and it's Red Wing from Marvel.
Yes.
It is quite well known here on Mount Geekmore. My love for Captain America, Falcon, the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, basically anyone connected in the Captain America universe. And with Captain America and X-Men basically are the only two comic books that I've read every single issue from debut all the way until I stopped reading a couple years ago. I put it down, but basically until about 2016, I had read every single issue. So
I bet you've read a lot of bad comic books. Huh?
Oh yeah,
there are.
He suffered through all those '90s X-Men, like
Yeah.
extreme.
There are a few.
I'm thinking further back than that, man. The like
you'll actually be
60s,
surprised how many of those
70s
60s Captain America and X-Men comics are actually really good.
Fair enough.
You have to kind of get through that very expository style that comics had back then. But if you can kind of get through that cheese and that camp, there's a lot of really great stories and fantastic art to be had there. And so when Captain America hooks up with Falcon really early in his Silver Age rebirth, Falcon finds Red Wing almost right away. And Red Wing becomes just this incredible pet. Not quite elevated to the point of sidekick, but almost there. Like she's that.
I'm so sorry, David. What kind of animal is Red Wing? I don't read comics.
She's a falcon.
She's a falcon.
She's Falcon's falcon.
Falcon. Okay, nice.
She's
not the little robot thing that he's got in the.
In the movies they made like it's like an like a
were you legitimately?
It's like a drone.
About a fucking robot?
No. I didn't think. I was just asking. Like I was just trying to make sure I knew what was up. And then like I was trying to think. I thought Captain America's pet, but no.
That's
I got you.
Bucky.
I'm with you.
So I mean, she has a telepathic link to Sam Wilson, to Falcon, thanks to the Cosmic Cube, and so they are. She is like totally empathic, but only with him, and she can see what he sees, and he can see what she sees, and so because of that, she is a great asset to the Avengers. Basically, anytime they need a scout, it's Sam and Red Wing going and doing the scouting. And this leads to some of the best moments that are like so like down to earth. And it's kind of beautiful to see that same connection that I keep talking about, those connections of like a boy and his dog, right? And you see that with Sam and Red Wing, and it's like just bumped up to the nth degree because of that telepathic link. It's really a beautiful thing that they have.
I had Red Wing as an honorable mention and pulled it from talking because I was like, wait a minute, Dave. Okay, yeah, Dave probably got Red Wing at number one. Let me pull that one off the table so he can have that. So all right,
same to Bona.
So we've got Red Wing at Dave's number one. Murray, numero uno.
That's David's always been so like really sweet and lovely and like sincere. And then I'm gonna come over here and say some shit like Perry the Platypus is my number one.
Oh my fucking god!
Because
that
he
is such a
fucking
good
rules,
pick.
man. I like Perry the Platypus, the pet of Phineas and also Ferb, who is just a platypus. He doesn't do much. Of course, as we all know, is in secret agent Perry the Platypus.
Agent P.
Agent P. And I love that television show is one of those cartoons that's way better than it has any right or need to be. The songwriting as well is one of my favorite things. And also there's a platypus controlling me is one of my favorite 6 minutes of anything that's ever been made by people. But I love that. I love any goofy spy. I love any good let's make fun of James Bond and his need for supervillain arch nemesis is, Austin Powers, Dr. Evil sort of shtick going on. I love that. I also love that he's just saving the tri-state area. It
Yes,
makes me really
just the
happy.
tri-state area.
All the time. I also like anybody who can look kick-ass in a fedora. Like as a former fedora teen, anybody with along with Indy can like make them look cool. Or an Indian dark man, like Perry the Platypus is like number 3 on kick-ass fedora wearers. So well done there.
That's actually one of the major reasons why I love him. I'm a huge fedora guy, and not like the fedoras I love are huge. I just the amount of love I have for them.
That would be pretty cool though. If they were.
And I actually have a very similar style Perry the Platypus one right
that
here.
Is very Perry.
Ooh,
that's very indie. Yeah, dude.
It is actually an Indiana Jones one.
I was about to say you kind of just
Perry
look
the
like
Platypus one.
Indiana Jones ate his dad right now.
We named the dog Indiana.
The platypus, Perry. Yeah.
All right.
Perry the Platypus, my main man. Just love him.
Did not for a second think of that one, and that's an awesome pick. There's no mystery here as to it's the one that I tabled earlier. My number 1 comes from a comic book that is near and dear to my heart at all times, and that is Lockheed from the X-Men. Lockheed is an alien dragon. I mean, he is an alien. Looks like a dragon, though. How
the fuck do I?
He's about the size. He's the size of a really big cat or a really small dog, and he is Kitty Pryde's right-hand man. Lockheed can breathe fire. Lockheed is strong as shit. Lockheed can take a beating and keep going. Lockheed can have babies. We learned when he met Puff.
Looks like he might want to fuck Donkey from Shrek as I'm looking at him.
Yeah. Lockheed doesn't need donkeys.
He's Donkey's type.
Lockheed is just awesome because in a whole different podcast, I could go on a rant about the epicness that is Kitty Pryde as a character through the years. But Lockheed is always there for Kitty Pryde, more so than anyone. I would even dare say Colossus, which pains me to say because Colossus is one of my favorite X-Men. But in the time, Colossus was dead for a while, and Lockheed was there for Kitty. Like when I go back over my list and I kept looking, my list always kind of boiled down to having that deep connection that runs on an emotional level. Those pets that become a part of you, and they become so very important to not only your mental well-being, but also to your physical well-being. And I mean, Lockheed has gone through the shit for Kitty. Lockheed has done it all and never once turned his back on Kitty, and it's just incredible. And I mean, he can absolutely hold his own. He is a pet avenger with Lockjaw.
I mean, he almost single-handedly is responsible for repelling the Brood attack on his home planet.
Yes.
That's how fucking incredible is that the Brood almost take down the X-Men, and these guys take one look at him, like before he even breathes fire, and they're like, fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, and Lockheed's been around since I think the 70s, maybe earlier than that.
I think it's the late 70s.
Yeah, so
I mean 80s. Yeah,
I mean he's there. Like iconic Kitty Pryde art always has Lockheed on her shoulder. That's just the way, unless it's some sort of love pose with her and Colossus. Lockheed is there. He is one and the same with Kitty Pryde, and it's how he worked his way up as high on my list as he did. And I know you had him too, Dave. Right at number 3.
Yeah, I just looked it up. 1983.
Oh, okay.
It was actually
I'm the same age as Lockheed.
That Brood story arc, the first Brood story arc, which is fantastic. There's that amazing cover of Wolverine crucified on the X.
Yes.
Oh, I know that.
It's such incredible artwork by who was that? Was it Silvestri? Maybe. I'm not 100% certain.
Possible.
Anyway, I always have gone back to that connection that the owner has with the pet. And because Lockheed is empathic and has the ability to read our thoughts, even though he very rarely communicates in spoken word, because he has the ability to read our thoughts. He knows exactly what to do at the right moment, and so often, because of that, like you mentioned, that he's there for Kitty in a way that that Peter can't be, right? That's something that goes back to that emotional connection that they have, right? Because Peter's fucking awesome, and he is one of the best X-Men, like absolutely. But that said, there's something that Lockheed can offer her that he can't, which is the ability to tell what she needs at the moment that she needs.
Exactly.
Right? Colossus needs to ask. Colossus needs to know. And then he'll provide that for her. He always will, right? Because he's that kind of guy. But we see Lockheed do this for more than just Kitty. Because when he joins Excalibur and starts fucking time traveling and shit, right? He does the same thing for the Banff motherfucker, right? For my favorite Nightcrawler, right? So
I mean, I think you've gotten into just like we went to define pet like an hour ago now, and like empathic should have been part of it. I think like just like I'm serious, like that should be a thing where maybe not to a magical degree, but to a like who rescued who degree.
Makes my number one pick look like shit.
I mean, it doesn't. Yeah.
I want to change it. Debbie Grayson from Invisible.
I'm sticking to it, goddammit. All right, so our number ones were Hulk from the King Thanos dimension, Red Wing, Perry the Platypus, and Lockheed. So Lockheed is our only duplicate, which means we got a lot of space open on this mountain. And I am immediately going to come off the top and say, I think we all, when we heard that Iago pick, were just kind of floored at the fact that we didn't think of it. So I'll throw some weight behind Iago as a pick.
I like him up there with the empathic who rescued who too. And you also have this thing where like, as we're saying that, where like, he actually like gives Jafar a lot of really good sage advice. He gives him a lot of like, hey man, maybe we don't fuck with the kid with the genie. All right.
Oh, I love when he was dropping F-bombs in the original Aladdin.
Jafar, you fucking idiot.
You give Gilbert an inch, he takes a mile.
Takes a mile.
Now, as a suggestion, we oftentimes, when we don't have any repeats, just go with our number ones. And Lockheed is your number one. Should we go with each of our number ones?
No, because that makes the fucking the poor fucking dogfight Hulk.
That was
okay. Yeah, no,
that was pretty much the argument I was going to make.
Yeah,
you want to kick my Hulk off of the mountain? That's what you want to do?
I don't ever want to think about it again. I was happy living a life not knowing that there was a universe in which Thanos was just.
All right, well then fuck my Hulk. Let's put Rush up there. Give me one.
I mean, Rush is rad. I could throw weight behind Rush. I think Rush is a really great one.
I think it'd be cool to have a video game one up there.
I think since we just said
how did nobody say Pikachu?
I thought about Pikachu, and then I was like, I think
sidekick.
And also, there's a thing too there where like it's like weapon. There are big Michael Vick vibes to Pokemon, y'all. That whole thing.
The fact that Pikachu refuses to live in the Pokeball, it's like, this isn't your pet, man. He calls his own shots.
Yeah, exactly. Okay,
sidekick. Cool. Dude, I'm down with Rush. I think it's cool to have a video game one in there. I think that Rush makes a lot of sense. I think that he dominates all the categories that we've talked. So
longevity as well too. Like he gets us a dog, and he's there. He's in all the Mega Man games, right?
All right. So we've got one spot left. We've got a couple of monkeys with Blip and Ampersand. We've got Garfield. We've got a goldfish. We've got an astral panther.
We've got two spots. No.
I thought did we say no? I wrote Iago.
We got Lockheed, Rush.
Oh, Iago, yeah.
Iago and Rush.
How about Snarf?
What about Red Wing? Isn't Red Wing up there?
I mean, Red Wing was my number one, but I figured just for the sake of variety,
that's two red birds. If we're thinking about making the sculpture, we could bookend it with Iago.
We'll have a comic book, a video game, a movie, and a TV show.
Okay.
And
mediums.
Snarf looks good up there.
Snarf looks
good. With the beard.
Yeah. Snarf looks good up there.
Representing a fat bearded men.
And Snarf would Snarf is a good pick too, because that den mother aspect that we were talking about. Hank, we've got a friend of the show and friend of Shiver, I guess just friend of the network, Andy Chacon chiming in here, and he says Brain from Pinky and the Brain.
I think we're still in a he's being kept in a cage against his will. I still think we're if it's an animal that Jay and Silent Bob would have rescued at any point, then not a pet.
You know what? I think aesthetically Snarf works. I think he gives us a motherly vibe there. I think that Snarf is a solid pick. I think Snarf is a solid pick.
Osbert. It's also a pet that's older. I like that too. It gives us the pet that who raised who. You know what I mean?
There we go. We've got a lot of who saved who.
Yeah,
with Snarf and who raised who.
Where it's like them as the Hierophant character as well. Fucking, I don't know, Yoda. Yeah.
All right. Well, then that's going to do it. The final Mount Geekmore of the super pets is Lockheed the Dragon, Iago the Parrot, Rush the Robo Dog, and Osbert the Snarf.
Yes. Well done. I thought it was going to be a bunch of lame dogs with capes. And
we definitely flexed some nerd muscle on this one. We definitely earned the title Geekmore. With this one. So before we go, we'd like to give everybody a chance to tell us what you got going on. So I know you two are both on the same network, but we'll start with Stein. What do you have up there, man? Let them know.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alexander Stein, the one and only Pungent Master, and I am the host of The Floor is a Dungeon on the Missing Sock Podcast Network. The one and only RLX Murray, to my bottom right over here, has been on the show a couple of times. We take random days of history and we mash those up with pop culture, politics, and comedy to create crazy characters for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. And then I write a custom Double Dare dad joke dungeon that I run those characters and players through. 2 episodes a month. Check us out on all podcatchers and follow at Dungeon Floor on all of the socials.
Newest episode inspired by the January 6th insurrection?
That's right. Yeah, a bunch of fucking goblins. Yeah.
The bad guys are usually right-wing shitheads.
Yeah, usually right-wing.
The last time I was on the show, we killed, Ron
DeSantis.
Ron the Sand Mantis.
I just finished that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good.
That's fantastic.
A little wish fulfillment in there.
All right, Murray, what do you got going on, man?
Yeah, what's up? I'm at Alex Murray on all the socials and whatnot. I am the artistic director of the Missing Sock Podcast Network. I've got two shows running consistently on there right now. Mystic Lasagna. You've heard me expound on Garfield A Fair Piece tonight, but my co-host and I read Garfield comics like tarot cards. We plug into the greater fields, and we do a little meditation on what's going on with us, what's going on in the world, and then we supplicate ourselves to the will of the field, generate a random Garfield comic, and then draw the wisdom from it that lies deep hidden within all panels of Garfield's universe. And then my other one's called Child's Play. My co-host Adam Phillips and I are listening to the entire Kids Bop discography. I wish I'd decided to read all the X-Men comics, frankly. We're listening to the entire Kids Bop discography, and we have started to go on a weird actual journey towards Kids Bop headquarters. A lore has built up around it, and we also write our own music and our own fixed more appropriate for children songs. And if you tune in this Wednesday, the episode we're dropping, our characters are broadcasting from hell. So it's gotten interesting.
All right.
We're having a lot of fun.
And Dave, tell them what we got going on here, Geek Bro.
So we here at Geek Bros, specifically Debona and I, are also responsible for the Shiver podcast. So you can join us on Wednesdays as we discuss and review horror movies, typically with a little bit of reverence and irreverence mixed together, depending on the film. This week we are doing
Love Witch.
The Love Witch to kick off our February
our season of romance.
That was I really wish that was the theme song.
I like to be the meat inside of a love witch.
Hey,
ooh, there you go.
Also, so if you enjoyed this and you're interested in Shiver Pods, you can find everything that we do here with Mount Geekmore at geekbro.net, including those two. You can find your usual host, Nary Signs, doing What's Up, Bro, with an assortment of co-hosts. We've got Comedy Fitness, Crimacopia, Seasons, a TV podcast, Kick Flicks. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, A Dose of Ellie. We keep them coming out. If you're looking for anything, if you're into something, Geek Bro's got something for you. If you head to geekbro.net, you can check that out.
Sports,
of course,
got sports show?
We don't have a sports show, I guess.
Nope.
There we go. We got to get that jock market.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
tap into the Geek Bros.
Kick flicks, martial arts is a sport, right?
I guess that's true. Fair enough.
Combat sports. So if you head to geekbro.net, you can catch all of those. If you're just interested in Geekmore, we're on the socials at MT Geekmore. Dave and I were talking about is at ShiverPod. You can find all of those. You please come listen. We tend to do this every other Monday, give or take, depending on everyone's health. I'm finally over COVID again. And so we're coming back with everything. You can catch Shiver Wednesdays at 9/8 Central. And gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate this wonderful relationship that we've established with the Missing Sock Network. You guys have been great. That's going to do it for tonight. And that's how lists are made.
Donate.